primaries are starting or kicked off this morning. That includes Busia, Bungoma, and Machakos. All right, so shortly I'll also be linking up with Trix Ngado in Funyula. Remember the last time, Budalangi, I beg your pardon, the last time we spoke to her, everything was still at a standstop, and we're hoping that in the next few minutes when we speak to her, things will have kicked off in regards to the exercise, which had not started by the last time we were speaking to her. All right, let me come back to my panel of guests here in studio, and I want to start with you, George. Let's talk about the critical contest that we're expecting in some of these areas, especially the places where we're expecting the nominations to end today. In your regard, or in your opinion, which ones really will be bruising?
I would particularly say that in areas where ODM is strong, for example, Siaya, Migori, Kisumu, actually in the Nyanza part of it, both Luo Nyanza and Kisii Nyanza, the coast, northeastern, those are areas where ODM is strong, and even in part of Rift Valley, the Maasai land. And in those areas, it's going to be a bruising battle where the nominations are being done. All
right, Martin, what's your take on that? And are we expecting the same for some of those Jubilee strongholds? Or are we expecting more direct nominations?
They will be competitive, but, you know, the window, the court allowed that those who lose can still run as independents. So you will see a lot of movement even after the nominations. Two, you've seen people, the intra-party defections within the coalitions. Quite a number of people who would have ordinarily participated in the ODM nominations have either gone to NC, or they have gone to Fort Kenya, or they have gone to Wiper. So that has reduced the intensity of the competitions. But today, the focus is on Busia. There is also quite a bit of an interesting fight in Bungoma. Edwin Sifuna is battling it out with Makali, the brother to David, in Kandui. So you need to get your guys to also watch. That should be a very interesting fight, because Edwin is fairly young but vibrant, but Makali is the speaker, and he's done quite a bit in terms of offering pro bono services. So that is very interesting. Then the Budalangi one, because we want to know who comes out and who takes on Ababu. Because if Ababu had run on an ODM ticket, it would have been much easier for him to take the seat. But on Labour Party, which is Jubilee affiliated, I think he'll have to fight, maybe put in 2-3 times the energy and resources that he would have put in if he was running on an ODM ticket.
Could he still win that seat?
In politics,
even with his affiliation to Jubilee?
Don't rule him out, because there are issues. But you know, there are also the clan issues down in Budalangi. The groups of Osogo and Okondo, those formations are still intact. Two, he's done a bit in terms of the bridge, the Sigiri Bridge. There is also some work he has done on the irrigation scheme. And by and large, he's utilized his CDF fairly well. Of course, working with the Jubilee, they'll give him money. And I can tell you, Betty, I was in the village last week. Money is going to be a major factor in this election, because people are hungry, people are sleeping hungry. So anybody who comes with money, it will play a major role.
Isn't it a case of take the money but give your vote elsewhere?
It will not be that easy, let me tell you. In the village, you know, people who are given money the last minute, it sways some of the votes. Yeah, you might not swing the entire block, but you know, and you know, Budalangi has about 30,000 voters. So if he is able to get a chunk of his clan and regional block, then he can buy a few. And depending on how the ODM nominations are also handled, because if they bring in a candidate who does not look very strong, then it means they are making it very easy for Ababu. So if they let the nominations be free and fair, and you have a strong candidate emerging, then he will give Ababu a run for his money.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcus, I'd like to hear you. You want to add on that?
Yeah, I wanted to say something on the issue that is talking about money. You see, when it comes to election, the interesting thing is that money, of course, has a role to play. But the majority of the people who vote, who queue, have the patience, and go to the ballot, are those who ask, tuko wapi? Or where are we voting? So after eating the money, then comes the question, so where are we? Now, that is something very important in politics, that you can actually use your money. Sometimes they even say, kula kwa wino, kura kwa ndonji. Yeah?
I would expect that would happen, but Martin is saying most of the time not.
You
But
can't
you see,
rule it out
even the
because
dynamics in NASA will also have a large bearing on the politics of Western.
All right.
Yeah, but you see, that is a conversation that
so I can actually
needs a
tell you
lot
that
of time.
In Busia, and I'll honestly tell you that Ababu has no chance.
No, that is
Because
not true.
just
Look
like,
at the last election,
let me just
Betty.
finish, Betty.
Maybe let him qualify
just
that.
like you've seen what probably, I don't want to say it's Hospital or Jamongu did, but just trying to paint Otuoma, because at one point Otuoma had gone back and looked like he was going to be believed. He is not trying to paint him that way for no reason. He knows the ground, and he knows that the ground here is ODM. That ground will not accept
Which is allergic
Ababu.
to Jubilee.
Yes.
But
Whatever the
you
case.
see, what he's saying is not backed by facts. In 2013, the two SMPs are won on URP. URP is part of Jubilee. In Butula, the MP is not ODM. In Nambale, the MP is not ODM, is UDF. So out of the 7 constituencies in Busia, ODM has only 3. So,
Right.
you know, the local dynamics, and you know, the strength of the individual candidates would count a lot in some of those places, especially depending on how the presidential equation is handled.
All right.
The assumption that one just running on a party there would automatically lose.
So why would
All
it
right.
have been easier for
All
him
right,
for
gentlemen.
Ababu in ODM?
Because he will be given a direct ticket. If he is given a direct ticket, then it becomes
Because he's in ODM.
because he was an insider.
No, Martin. Politics.
Let's continue the conversation. Let's take the conversation forward. I'd like to hear Chelsea, we know, police spokesperson. Earlier on, you of course talked about the police really knowing what the current security situation is in the country. Are there politicians who are on your watch list?
Watch list.
Is there like a watch list? Are there people who, you know, previously have had issues and moving forward, you know, you kind of like put a lot of attention in what they say, what they do, if it's in the rallies, in the campaign trails?
You know, the action we took sometimes last year by taking people to court from both divides. We took members of Jubilee to court. We took members of ODM to court. They have slowed down. You don't hear Babayao anymore. You don't hear Kuria. You don't hear the bad boys in ODM because they know what we are capable of doing. So what is there is we don't want to handle any Kenyan as a suspect. Number one, we understand they are all politicians and they are capable of doing funny things. But our position is very clear that if you attempt, then we deal with you. You have yourself to blame. We want to give each and every person an equal opportunity. We don't want to brand anyone, no matter. Because you see, politicians also go with dynamics, excitement. You see, in politics, we are told they don't have permanent enemies and permanent friends. Like you just heard what he said, that if political leaders in any way move from where they are to another place, you'll see all these people moving to that place. So they are not dynamic. So we don't want to brand anyone. But we are putting everything. You remember a few months ago, we had a problem in Laikipia. We have had a problem in Baringo. You could see it is cattle rustling and also grazing issues. But sometimes when you go underneath, you could even see some few politicians trying to make grounds for themselves. Like you remember the problem we had in Baringo started when 2 politicians from Pokot were killed in Mogotio. And basically you may find that somebody somewhere had planned very well to spark some violence for his own benefit. But at least we are happy that we have controlled the problems in Baringo and Pokot. We have controlled the problems in Laikipia. The herders who had come to the private ranches have moved. And we are continuing to map the country. We have to do that. We know what coast is capable of doing where, which political party is capable of doing what where. And that is why you see today you don't expect much problems in Machakos because it is not a very strong hold of maybe the party that is carrying. It could have support, but not that somebody would believe that if he gets that ticket, then definitely he has won.
Okay.
You would find us putting a lot of focus in Busia today because of the obvious. He has told you about Kandui. So the fact that we don't practice politics, but you know, we the police belong to the strongest arm, the executive arm of government. One of the major instruments of power that when you are sworn in as a president, you are given is police, so that you protect your people. So as much as we don't play politics, but we understand politics. Like their debate is very good because they are my neighbors. I wish I was not a policeman or I was not putting this. I would have solved their problem very easily. But now because I'm a policeman...
Maybe you can hint what your solution
because I'm a policeman, I would not like to get into their debates because maybe each person is playing his interest.
Right.
I'm sure Ndonji is here in courtesy of his boss. He may be neutral. I don't know where he belongs. But, you know, everyone plays, except me, who plays for the whole country. Have to play for every individual. Yeah, whether you are Jubilee or you are ODM or you are Ford Kenya, you all belong to me. My duty is only one, to secure your life and your property and ensure the country is peaceful. And that is what we are working on. And actually, I can sincerely tell you that we are so prepared. I think we are over-prepared for this election. And that is why when you say Ngwe, we nab you.
What do you mean by over-prepared?
No, what I mean by over-prepared is I just want to assure Kenyans that you will not attempt to bring chaos anywhere. You attempt, we will be with you. And that is why you saw me becoming slightly political by saying that all political parties, we wish them the best. Let them bring their best team players on play, so that when the elections come, we want to see a very mature debate amongst politicians. We want to see people talking about issues. We want to see people talking about how they'll bring this country forward. We don't want to hear people talking again on basis of their tribes. Actually, it is very unfortunate that the current political party system, even us in security, we still see a lot of ethnic divisions. But we are saying, we are praying that in many years to come, we want to see people playing national politics. So us who have been saved on that as the police, we can say we are saved on political parties' issues. We simply work for everyone in the country. And that is why anybody, even if it is Ford Kenya and they have a dispute and somebody is using an orthodox means, we come in and we have to deal with that. So I want to assure everyone that all the small problems, the teething problems that could be there, like the Baringo problem, the Laikipia problem, we have solved them. And we are also now looking forward for any other teething problems. We want a level playground. We want to get leaders who are mature. We want to see that in August, when they come to Parliament, they do their best. And we also want to see, after the final result is announced, the person who will win will hug his brother. The person who will lose will hug his brother, and they'll say, it was a good game. Let it be like a football game.
Football match.
And that is why we are very keen. And that is why we are asking political parties, we are going to give you all the security. Do your level best. Bring your best men. Let us have a fair play. Let us move our country forward. We don't want to hear about violence. We don't want anybody claiming wameiba. Nani ameiba? Ndugu yako ameiba? Hapana. We want us to finish this thing well and move forward to the coming years so that we leave this country well for our children and grandchildren.
Shortly we'll be going to Duncan Hemba, but I'd like to hear, Marcus, your take. I'll ask you the same question that I asked him. If there are any political figures who, as ELOG, you've kept at bay or are watching closely?
I think we are watching institutions.
What does that mean? Isn't that a diplomatic way to go about it?
For example, the police service will be keen to see, because as you said rightly, they have a role to play. I mean, you are a key stakeholder in the electoral process. And the law is very clear on their role and mandate in the process. And we'll be watching the police service if they are doing what they are required to do. And coming from 2013, where there were several abuses, both from the police sector and other sectors, and our report was very clear on that, come 2017, we are watching the police service to see if they are doing what they're supposed to do. Because
Betty, I would want him, first of all, to congratulate us for reaching all political
Yes,
parties
that is true.
during nominations.
No, that's correct.
We have reached all political parties.
Except that one that you mentioned that
no, they
did
reached
not.
still. They reached.
No,
They refused to come.
no. I can't say they have refused. It depends on their logistics. But we have all the same given them a liaison officer.
Okay.
And I believe by end of the day today, they'll be able to come. There's only one advantage this country has gotten. We have, I think, an Inspector General that has vast experience. He's been a diplomat. He was recruited as a policeman in uniform like me, has worked for the intelligence of this country, has been a diplomat, has been a protocol officer, and therefore it is very easy to engage him. So I would call upon every political party to especially reach the Inspector General if they have any problem. He will pick your call, he will allow you in his office, he will discuss with you fairly.
Okay.
We don't want people to bring excuses because, you see, it is very easy to mistake police. You can't separate us from especially the presidency, yeah? Because when you get into office as a president, we now deny you all your rights.
Okay.
We take hold of you, we guard you, we escort you, we do everything.
All
so
right.
it is very easy to mistake us. But the question is, we are for this country.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that. So we'll be coming back to the conversation